You know what it is. Welcome back to Harry Ball Sports. Time for Harry Ball Sports. Going over my record in week 3 and then making my predictions for week 4. Correction to the last video. As of the end of week 2, I'm 25-7. I think I had something else put in there. It was wrong. That doesn't matter. I'm 25-7, which I'm very proud of. So starting with week 3 now, we're going to go to Dolphins-Bills. This may have well have been Mike McDaniel's Super Bowl. It's only a matter of time before he's canned, sadly. I kind of disagree with that choice, but I do see it coming. Josh Allen is like an entire offense on his own, and Tua is an entire other team's defense on his own. I like that line. Bengals-Vikings, kind of crazy there was a worse blowout than the Falcons in the same week. Isaiah Rodgers had like the greatest half of football history, arguably, except for Tom Brady in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. I'm going to respect that game whenever I can. I don't feel good about the Bengals even a little bit here. I will be picking essentially every defense that plays against them in fantasy for the remainder of the year. That's kind of not a joke, and I am very confident in that strategy. Texans, Jags. These teams need to work on just everything. The Texans look hopeless on offense. The Jags stars aren't showing up. I mean, they're dropping balls, and I don't know where Travis Hunter is on the field. Step it up, guys. At this point, I have to start thinking the Colts are real. Indiana Jones might be real. Jonathan Taylor, tough like a sailor, is real. It's just 3 wins, but they were pretty quality. And honestly, they're pretty easy to root for right now, and they're making of a great story for the season, so I'm going to say go Colts. Commanders, Raiders. It was nice to see other players in the Commanders step up and make some offense just besides Jaden Daniels. I think that team really needs that if they want to do anything in the playoffs again. And wow, Raiders O-line is terrible, making Genty look bad, and that is really sad for him. This Rams game was one of those games where the Eagles actually asked Jalen Hurts to play well, and so he did. They usually don't even ask him to try that much. But I'll say 33 yards in the first half is not acceptable. Like, not just passing, but total. I kind of didn't realize how big A.J. Brown was, honestly. And the Rams are a blast to watch. Stafford is definitely still that guy. And the Rams had plenty of chances, but they kind of just couldn't make a single one of them actually work, which is super sad. And that block field goal returned by a 313-pound Jalen Carter is going to be a season highlight, I think. We're going to look back on this season in like the top 20 plays video or whatever, and we're going to see that one. This Falcons game is the second one I predicted wrong this week, and this one hurt. Another example of my ego just having to shatter by being... It's not just that I was wrong, it's that I was wrong to a degree that I didn't really think was possible. Like, even if they lost, I would have been able to accept that and sleep at night. But, like, I said such confident things, and they lost by 30 and scored 0 points. Really something I was kind of unprepared for mentally. And that's been weighing on me this week a little bit. Steelers game, Patriots had 5 fumbles. I don't even know how you get 5 fumbles. And I can't imagine Aaron Rodgers is satisfied with that win. He's got a big ego to feed, and like that's just not going to feed it the way he needs. So I feel like he might internally take that as a loss still. Obviously, the media pressure is off, but like he wants to win by a lot and look great, which he just kind of didn't. Next up, oh my god, Packers, what happened? Didn't think this was an option for you guys. And again, another one of those games where it's not like the winning team won the game, it's that the losing team lost the game. Horrible interception. Matthew Golden running out of bounds for no reason when he had some open field in front of him. And it just didn't feel like they were taking the game seriously, which I get because you're playing the Browns, but like, it's an NFL game, guys. If you approach it like that, this is what's going to happen. So lesson learned, I hope. This kind of thing does happen every year, though, once in a while. Like the Browns steal one from the Ravens, or like the Bears win any game. It's like surprises do happen. But wow. Not concerned about the defense in Green Bay. They only allowed 13 points. This is weird, though. It's like a game where the quarterback beat a Super Bowl contender, but the fans still want to bench him the next week, which like I can't think of in recent memory that happening ever, which just shows you these Browns, like the league isn't built for a team like the Browns. But that makes for good football. Bucks. Tampa is kind of super injured now, unfortunately. The Mike Evans injury in particular is super sad. I have him in fantasy, and I just kind of like the guy a lot. Another blocked kick almost decided this game. Weird that it happened so many times this week. And I also got to mention Mbuka. He looks like a top 5 receiver in the league, like right out of the gate, which is just awesome. I'm stoked to see that. And I think the idea that Baker has another weapon is really scary for everybody else in that division. But I like seeing him win. Chargers look like the top team in their division. They looked explosive and controlled and patient. And the Broncos have a lot of potential, but like they do have to start showing it every week. I want them to have like a 40-point win here pretty soon, just to like solidify that they are what we think they could be. A super strong defense and a good enough offense, because that build is usually pretty good and can go far in the playoffs. It's just like, if it's week 6 and like they still haven't done that to a team, I'm going to start thinking like, okay, maybe this Broncos team isn't what they're supposed to be, and I might trade that defense away in fantasy. Seahawks, Saints. The Saints are kind of like a middle school state champ team. No disrespect to Spencer Rattler, though. He is fine. Let's not like put all the blame on him. I don't feel comfortable praising any team that beat the Saints, so I can't really say anything good about the Hawks here. This game went perfectly to plan. Cowboys-Bears is another one that I did not see coming. I don't think anyone saw coming. Caleb looked great, and we knew that the Cowboys defense was bad, but like, wow, it's this bad? And I don't know what's wrong with the Cowboys offense now. And I'm starting to think Dak isn't what I always thought he was. Like, truly talented quarterbacks tend to, like, elevate the talent around them. Think Josh Allen, think Jaden Daniels. He arguably has a better supported cast than Josh Allen, but, like, puts up significantly worse team performances all the time. Plus, run game carried. Cardinals-Niners was a rare example of a super close game that was not fun to watch. Nick Bosa and James Conner both had, like, season-ending injuries, which is super sad. I don't know if James Conner is going to play again, like, being that old and having an injury that bad. Mac Jones played football in 2025, which was crazy. Also, Christian McCaffrey kind of moves like water. I don't know if that makes any sense. I sat here for a little bit and I can't think of a way to actually explain that, but that is what I think, and it's a good thing. I also played against McCaffrey in all of my leagues this week in fantasy 3 times, so he spanked me 3 times. Moving on to the Chiefs game. Whew, y'all got lucky there. Russ, more like rough. Not like he was a dog, he just, like, looked rough. He was bad. He was a bad quarterback during this game. I do kind of hate to see it, though. I like Russ a lot, but, like, you do have to sit him now. And the team agrees with me. They're going to start Jackson Dart next week, which is going to be a blast. And the Chiefs definitely didn't really go out there and control their own destiny. They won because Russ played bad, not because the Chiefs had it figured out. Like, if Russ played okay, they still would have been okay. But lucky for them, Russ did that. I know that Russell Wilson isn't the, like, end-all, be-all of this game, but, like, that's where all my attention went. Lions-Ravens was an absolute blast. Those kind of games have been delivering really hard this year. Like, those big matchups have been big matchup worthy. Like, these primetime slots have been worthy of the primetime slots. The Ravens defense is tissue paper. They've given up like 100 points already, which I will say they played the Bills and the Lions, who you're like supposed to give up points to, but still, guys, we can't be doing that. Lamar is a deity. I love watching him play. I love watching him stand. I like watching him talk. I just love Lamar. Him being on screen makes me smile. And it's good to see the Lions back to their peak entertaining form. The league is better when the Lions play good. I think they are so good they get to like play around in a way that other teams don't. Like, you don't see the Jets even trying trick plays because they know it would just be embarrassing. And so at the end of that, my total here is 35-13 at the end of week 3, which I'm pretty stoked about. Like, that could be a lot worse. I will say week 3 was the worst for me by a lot. I got a lot more of those wrong that I'm kind of comfortable getting wrong in a week. But for the time being, I feel fine. And you can't have upsets every week because then they're not upset. With that said, moving on to week 4. So as you can see, Thursday Night Football already happened. As a punishment for not being able to record this until after Thursday Night Football, I'm just going to count this one as an incorrect prediction for myself. I did think the Hawks were going to win, but I'm not going to give myself that point. I don't deserve it. And I'm ashamed I waited until Friday to film this. That's not ideal for what I'm trying to do here. I'm not going to reward myself in the slightest. But moving forward, Vikings-Steelers. I know the Vikings looked great last week and the Steelers looked bad. It's just the Vikings were playing the battered Bengals, so I can't imagine it's going to look the same this week. And the Steelers' offense and defense are both better than the Bengals, so this will be significantly more of an actual game. It's super cool that it's in Ireland. I got a friend of mine living in Dublin. Shout out to Haley. She's not going to the game or anything. It's just that she is near it, so that's my excuse to say hi to Haley. I don't have an obvious answer for this one. I don't think Isaiah Rodgers is going to take over the game again like that. It just seems kind of unlikely. This one's kind of a toss-up, and I think I'm going to give it to the Steelers. The Vikings did look fantastic, but having your starting quarterback and like the weeks of chemistry that comes with that is a huge advantage in a game like this. So I think the Steelers might have this one, but again, we'll see. Falcons, Commanders, cannot give it to the Falcons after that one. They need to wallow in shame for like maybe a week or two before I can start believing in them again. Because 30-0 to the Panthers, who we all kind of agree are like one of the worst teams in the league, maybe second worst after the Saints. You can't be dropping a game like that. Commanders for this one. Although I just remembered Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels were just ruled out, which does kind of change everything I just said. The Falcons are at least in their complete form. I actually think I'm going to switch to Atlanta here. Because while they look bad, they have a higher ceiling in this game than the Commanders, I think, just because it's all the starters. So I guess Falcons. Chargers-Giants, this is a really tough game to start as a rookie. I don't think Jackson Dart is going to have a super easy time against the Chargers, and they've just been looking spectacular. I can't see the Giants taking this one. I can see them maybe putting up a surprising game, but not beating the Chargers, so I got LA. Texans-Titans. It's time for both these teams to pick one up. So this will be a pretty good loser bowl for the week. And while I think the Texans actually have more talent, they just look horrible, whereas the Titans have put up a fight against some decent teams. And I really want to see Cam Ward take one. He's kind of the shiny new toy, and I know that CJ Stroud was just like a few years ago, but like that has worn off. He's expired to me now as an exciting young quarterback. So my brain and my heart pick the Titans. Eagles-Bucks is going to be spectacular. This is a great matchup, especially at this point in the season. I think we're going to see a whole lot of offense. I'm kind of just saying words to stall having to pick here, which is evidence is going to be a good game. But I think I gotta go with the Eagles. It just feels dumb to pick against them right now, at least until they show me they can lose. Because again, while they haven't won super confidently, there's just so many different modes this team can come out in. They can just come out in like feed A.J. Brown, big physical mode. They can come out in Jalen Hurts moonball mode. They can come out in Saquon Barkley, grind you down run by run mode. There's just so much they can do that whatever the Buccaneers defense shows up with and tries to game plan, they can probably get around it. And I think with Mike Evans out, Mbuka's going to get double covered a whole lot more. It's going to make it really hard for him to get the ball in the same way, I guess. Like, you can moss one guy, but you can't moss two guys, Pats Panthers is kind of like Texans Titans, where it's like, who's going to just suck less this week? And the Panthers really did impress me last week. The Patriots obviously have some stuff to clean up. You can't fumble 5 times, even in like an elementary school game, and expect to win. And I know it was a one-score game, but I'm not going to let that change my mind on this team. I think the Panthers have some moxie and some momentum, and I think they can find themselves being pretty explosive, whereas the Pats have shown no signs of any of that, so I got the Panthers. Saints, Bills, you already know what I'm going to say. I refuse to talk about the Saints on this channel. Go Bills. Browns, Lions. I do got to go Lions here, but could you imagine if the Browns played the Ravens, Packers, and Lions and came out 1-2 in that stretch? I just can't see that happening. The Lions are more complete and more rehearsed and they have like more of an identity to them than the Packers do right now, even though the Packers could be good. I just can't see the same sort of crumbling happen with this team. The Lions definitely are prone to crumbling, but like, not here. I got Detroit. Also, are the Browns going to start Joe Flacco? I feel like they can't keep doing that. There's a chance we get like 50-50 Flacco Gabriel, and maybe like 2 plays of Shador if they're really trying to like please the fan base. Which they won't, but it's worth the thought. On to Niners, Jags. In the past, this would have been a no-brainer for the Niners, but in 2025, this is a bit more of a competition. But that's mostly because of the injuries in the Niners, whereas the Jags just show no consistency. So do I go with an injured roster or an inconsistent roster? I kind of see Trevor Lawrence showing up here. I can't exactly explain why, but I think he's going to take over this game. I think I got Jacksonville here. The Niners definitely are competent, but I can't pick them against anyone but like the Saints and feel super good about it. And so I think the Jaguars are just where they need to be to actually get this win. See, Colts-Rams, I said this last week, but this Colts game is trying to trick me. I can't do it, right? I can't pick them. Because I feel like if I pick them and they lose, then I look so stupid for buying into the Daniel Jones hype. But if I pick the Rams and they lose, I'm going to look like I don't watch ball at all. So like, what am I supposed to do? I would hate to see it happen again. The Colts have given me 3 L's in my predictions this year. But like, they can't beat the Rams. The Rams put up a crazy fight last week. They have a ton of stars on offense and defense. The coaching is really good. So I do think I gotta pick them. I've done this every week so far, and that's been wrong every single time, but like, I just can't see myself transitioning to the Colts hype just yet. I like them a lot. I'm rooting for them, but like I said in the last video, maybe week 5. We're just barely not deep enough into this for me to think they can beat like a good playoff team. So please, LA, do not make me look stupid. Bears and the Raiders, 2 teams who are prone to looking terrible. Bears coming off a really big win where it looked like they kind of had things figured out a little bit. And while I like the Raiders, receiving core, running back obviously, just that defense is garbage. And garbage enough to where I think even Caleb Williams can kind of go out there and dice them up. So I think Chicago's got this one. Chiefs-Ravens, here we go. I think the Ravens need this one more than the Chiefs, even though they're both 1-2. But like, the Ravens got to avenge themselves for last year. They got to get some semblance of confidence they can beat a playoff team, or any team for that matter. I feel like Derrick Henry especially needs to get his confidence back up. I think he's taking a lot of those fumbles very personally, which fair, he did fumble them, but it's like, I don't think of him as an inherently super fumble-prone back, but that's debatable. Again, the reason the Chiefs won last week wasn't them looking great. It's like, I still don't think this offense is clicking, but this Ravens defense is no like steel curtain. They're like a cloth t-shirt. So this could go either way, and while it might not be like a super exciting game, the tensions will be high the whole time, which helps. And speaking of tensions, I definitely want to talk about the next game, so I'm going to just pick here. Ravens. Finally, the meat and potatoes of the whole week. The second the Parsons trade went down, I think a lot of people were Googling if they played each other this season. And yes, here it is, week 4. We have Packers versus Cowboys. Kind of happy they're both coming off a loss. So neither team can go into this being like, oh, we definitely got this, or like, oh, we're definitely going to lose. Obviously, it's still in the Packers' favor here, but I think some of the like drama is preserved. Obviously, it's a huge game for Micah Parsons. That's definitely the main storyline here. I can't wait to see them panda Jerry Jones. It looks like it's in Dallas, too. Micah's going to get booed so hard. I wonder if he'll be, like, celebrating sacks and tackles and stuff. Because usually he does. He's kind of like a confident showboaty guy for sure, which he deserves. But, like, does he have the guts to do that in the stadium now? Frankly, no other person in this game matters at all. This is more like Jerry Jones versus Micah Parsons than it is like Jordan Love versus Dak Prescott. And whenever there's enough going on to look past the quarterback battle, that's a good football game. This is just a blessing. This is the exclamation point on that whole trade situation. Like, remember the first time the Mavs played the Lakers after the Luka trade? This is that. And that was a great game to watch. So I'm stoked about it. I do have the Packers stake in this one. They're just a kind of a better team, but that doesn't even matter. That's not the point of this game. So Packers got it, but like, let's see someone cry. Just because I have to, I'll do these last two games here. Jets, Dolphins. This sucks. But again, like I said, games like this are the price you have to pay to get things like Ravens, Chiefs, to get things like Packers, Cowboys. For there to be ups, there's got to be downs. Ask anyone who's ever built a roller coaster or drawn a hill. Dolphins look disastrous. Tua's going to throw 2 picks. But I kind of still like that team better than the Jets. This says a lot about how I feel about the Jets, but I'm not lying to myself here. I'm taking Miami to get their first win. Bengals, Broncos. This would have been a great game if it happened like week 1. Unfortunately, I can't pick the Bengals here. They got juicy Jake Browning at quarterback. Defense still looks terrible. I think both the team and the fans lost faith in their whole season. And the Broncos aren't terrible enough to make this a good game. Like, the Broncos are still a medium good team, and for this to be worth watching, it would need to be like a bad team. Like, Bengals Jets would be fire. We're going to get the Broncos beating the Bengals. I'm going to predict this score too. We're going to get 35-17 Broncos. That might be generous to the Bengals, but like, you know, they can score. So 35-14 or 35-17. If I'm exactly right, if it's one of those two scores, I get the point back that I lost for Thursday Night Football. How about that? I don't know why I asked how about that. These choices are definitely up to me, and that's what's going to happen. So that's week 4. I still get the same euphoric feeling waking up for Red Zone every week. It's almost like Christmas morning a little bit. And that'll wear off eventually sometime in my life, but that has not happened yet. Thank you, football. I appreciate you, and I love you. That's all I got for this one. Thank you a ton for your time. Thank you for watching this. I got some work to do, and I'm starving, so I'm going to leave. This has been Harry Ball Sports. Thanks for watching. Go Birds.